Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting straight into it. Australia's big win over the West Indies, the second test in Grenada.
That's right. A really commanding performance.
Absolutely. And this wasn't just, any old match. It clinched the series for them, and crucially, they keep hold of the Frank Worrell Trophy.
Yeah, huge implications.
So our mission here for you is to basically cut through everything and pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising moments, and definitely the big player performances from the source material. Sort of a shortcut to understanding what really mattered.
Okay, let's do it. So the result itself, Australia won by 133 runs. This was at the Grenada National Stadium, July 3rd to 6th, just recently.
And that sealed the series 2-0.
Exactly. 2-0 up. And what was really noticeable was how Australia's bowlers, well, they really grabbed the match on day 4. The Windies had started okay, looked promising for a bit.
Yeah, I saw that in the reports. But then things really changed, didn't they? Talk about that West Indies collapse.
Oh, absolutely. It was quite dramatic.
Our sources show them crumbling to just 143 in that second innings. They had a bit of fight early on, right? Shea Hope and Roston Chase put up some resistance.
They did, yes.
Yeah.
Started relatively solidly. But once those first few wickets fell,
yeah,
the top order just seemed to disintegrate quite quickly.
What was the trigger, do you think? What really caused that swift downfall after the initial fight?
Well, look, Nathan Lyon played a massive part. He was almost unplayable at times, clean up the tail. Nearly got past McGrath's record, actually.
Wow, close.
Very close. But beyond just Lyon, it felt like maybe a bit of a tactical issue, perhaps against the spin on a pitch that was, starting to wear on day 4. Australia just applied relentless pressure.
Yeah, sustained pressure in Test cricket. It finds you out, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And when that momentum shifts, it can shift incredibly fast.
Okay, but it wasn't all one-way traffic. Australia had their own tricky moments. Day 3, the sources highlight, they were in a bit of bother themselves, weren't they? Like 28 for 3.
That's right, yeah. Definitely a precarious position early in their innings.
And this is where it gets interesting, I think. Steve Smith steps up 71 runs. Cameron Green gets 52. And together they build this really crucial partnership of 93 runs.
Absolutely vital. That partnership, you could argue, was the turning point within the turning point, if that makes sense.
How so? Beyond just the runs, what made it so pivotal?
Well, it wasn't just about scoring. It was about absorbing that intense pressure the West Indies bowlers were putting on them. They rebuilt the innings, showed real composure, smart shot selection. It basically took the sting out of the attack and allowed Australia to regain control.
A real demonstration of resilience, then.
Exactly. And it speaks volumes about Australia's depth. This win continues their strong record in Grenada, too, and, of course, secures the Frank Worrell Trophy again. They haven't let go of that since, 1995.
That's incredible. A long time. Shows real, consistent dominance.
It really does. A pattern of finding ways to win, even from tough spots.
And within that team effort, we always see individuals shine. Alex Carey got player of the match, must have had a great game with the bat and behind the stumps.
Yeah, reports mentioned exceptional keeping alongside his batting contributions. Very well-rounded performance.
And another big personal story, Mitchell Starc. This was his 99th Test match.
Incredible milestone coming up.
Right. He's now set to play his 100th Test in the next match in Jamaica. That's going to be a special occasion for him.
Definitely something to watch. And that brings us to what's next. The final test, Jamaica. It's a day-night match.
Ah, the pink ball always adds a different dimension.
It does. And there's an extra little wrinkle this time. Apparently, there are some new concerns about the floodlights at Sabina Park for this test.
Oh, really? That could be interesting. New lights for a pink ball game.
Yeah, adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it? Visibility, how the players adapt, especially under lights. It could be a factor.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive then, the main takeaway seems to be Australia's continued strength in Test cricket, shown by, those key strategic partnerships like Smith and Green, backed up by a potent bowling attack and some standout individual efforts.
That sums it up pretty well. They just seem to have the formula right now.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on, building on what we've discussed.
Go on.
How might those unique challenges of day-night cricket, the pink ball, batting under lights, combined with these sort of external factors like potential floodlight issues in Jamaica, how could all that affect the dynamic of the final match?
That's a good question.
Especially thinking about players like Starc potentially playing his 100th Test in those conditions. How might all these variables shape not just his performance, but the whole feel and outcome of the series closer? Something to think about.